Lori's own Severson Associates for 20 years plus. Training, consulting, and marketing company. Her energetic presentations are filled with forward-thinking ideas you can immediately put to use in your business. Her interactive training style allows you to gather ideas from your peers as well. Her passion for success and management excellence will inspire, challenge, and encourage you to take action toward continuous improvement in yourself and your organization. Lori has presented companies like Walt Disney World, Camp Snoopy, Six Flags, IBM, Global Access, TRW, Windcraft, Bay Rens, Crenlo, GKN, Artsay, Wells Fargo, Merchants Bank, Farmers Bank, Ho-Chunk Nation, Arvik, Jellystone Park, McDonald's, St. Mary's University, Taco, Coney, KOA, her favorite PCOA.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
Iowa Campground Association, along with a wide variety of other companies that help to bring a strong knowledge of today's business to you. She owns Champions Riverside Resort, along with her husband Rick. She's also the executive director for Waco, the Wisconsin Association of Campground Owners, and volunteers for the Gilbert Brown Foundation.
Thank you so much. Got a lot to live up to there, huh? Guys, there's some more chairs up here if you need. Chairs over here to help yourself if we need them. All right. So today with my helpers, and we have Janet Evans, who is AKA Nikki. Boom. Yeah. And Jason, who you may have already guessed, is the soon-to-be executive director of Pacoa himself. No, he's actually president, past president. He's done the marketing for at least 20 years. He's got to be getting up there, right, Jay?
The best name is Lori.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all old here, right? We're going to talk today about seasonal incentives. How many of you in here get those seasonal people to do exactly what it is that you'd like them to do? All right. We're all in the right class. This is going to be awesome. Okay. So first thing that we want to figure out is, how do we actually get them to show up? How many of you struggle with that? Just a bit. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. You're going to learn a little bit from me, and hopefully you're going to learn some from the folks that are around you about how we can actually get them engaged and excited, if you will. So one of the things that always works is incentives, right? Everybody likes something for nothing, right? Some little thing. So what I want you to do right off the bat is, in your little groups, if you don't have a table, don't worry. Make a group. If you're more outgoing than somebody that's sitting next to you, make a group, okay? So in your little groups, what I'd like you to do is just take about 30 seconds and talk about any incentives that you have for seasonals currently, and then any that you've thought about using, and then we're going to bring those up, and guess what you get for offering up your great ideas? Tickets to win what?
Super prize.
Super prize for what? $1,000. Yes. All right. Okay, are you ready? 30 seconds starts now. I know. We have so many great ideas, but we need to get them together so we can all share them, right? So, who has the first great idea of what kind of incentives we can use? Yes, ma'am.
So it's actually kind of
a group idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. So I started off saying, for the people that renewed, to show them that we value their loyalty, giving them a $5 thing. Well, then this lovely lady has said, well, one year, she says, we gave them all fleeces.
Fleeces.
2 per site, she said.
2 per site. All
I
right.
said, I really like that idea. And she did not do the only if you renew, she did across the board.
Okay.
So
Can everybody hear good? No?
I said, I love the idea, but that could get kind of expensive. So then we started talking about coffee cups and t-shirts, and then
Right.
she cut me off.
So sorry. So one of the things that they decided to do, can everybody hear now? So one of the things that they decided to do is they would give a kind of a 2-part thing. So if you renewed, you got something.
A $5 gift card.
$5 gift card.
Anything in the resort, hoping they come in to the trading post and buy clothing, because
Sure,
we're really not
because that would be
using it.
$5 off. Absolutely. And Pride of America actually did something where they gave every seasonal a piece of fleece or clothing to wear. And then they started talking about, could we do other things like a coffee mug, that type of thing. So something with your name on it that advertises, hey, I'm a happy camper at whatever. I've heard of campgrounds that do seasonal only kind of shirts and wears, that kind of thing, so that theirs is special and different and that kind of thing, okay? What other ideas? Yes?
Giving like a 10% discount for people that bring in folks to,
Ooh, I'm
get
so
them
sorry.
to sign up, and if they sign
Yeah.
up, they get a 10% discount on their membership thing.
Ah, great.
And it's congruent, so if they get 10 people, they
They got-
100%.
Absolutely. Great. What other incentives? Yes?
Our second year of business, because we got so much help from our seasonals, we actually threw them a appreciation dinner at a local banquet hall.
Awesome. An appreciation dinner. Very good. Okay. Yes?
We are offering this year, if our seasonals pay on time, we're giving them a 15% card they can use all throughout the whole year in our restaurant.
Ah, 15% off card in their restaurant if they pay on time. We give ours a bar bill, $50.
We do for volunteer, when they come and volunteer for all the stuff we need. Is we do a drawing for $1,000 towards their site fee, so we pick 2 winners at our customer appreciation weekend, but they have to be present.
Ah,
They
very
also
good.
get a coupon for free pizza when they do each volunteer.
Ah, so they get a coupon for free pizza, each volunteer. And then did you guys hear that program? Because I love it. I loved it so much that I stole it like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe something like that. But it's a great deal. So you basically give them out. I don't know if you do tickets, Jerry.
Yeah, we do tickets.
Yeah.
Roughly 100 tickets for each hour's worth of volunteer.
Oh, so you get 100 tickets for each hour of volunteering, and then at the end of the year, you have a customer appreciation party, and they pick one person that is going to win, or 2
Well, I
people.
changed it to 2 people.
Okay.
$1,000 off.
Okay, so we got 2 people that, do they both get 1,000?
Yes.
Oh, so it's a $2,000 prize. So both of them get $1,000
Towards their next.
towards next year.
But they have to have everything paid and they
Aha. They have to be signed up and have that agreement to be eligible to be in there.
wait.
Ah, good idea. Excellent. Who else has got an idea for incentives? Yes.
Tickets for guest tickets.
Tickets for guest tickets. All right, very good. What else?
I got it.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't even know if it's an incentive, but when they check in, we got all this other stuff they have to do, but we give them tickets into a drawing for $100 off their next season's site if they prove that they have their backflow on.
If they prove they have their backflow on. Because what is the number one thing we all get dinged on from the inspector? Is your backflow protectors.
How much are they worth? Because
that's
why
a-
do people take them? They're worth a lot of
They're
money.
only used around a month.
Yeah, they're between $5 and $8, I think, but it's amazing.
I
Yeah.
figure they're worth $100 anyway.
Yes, and Mel.
We charge for guests in the park, so what we do is when our seasonals help with events, then they get free guest pass.
Oh, when the seasonals help with events, they get free guest passes, right? Yeah. Yes.
We give all of our seasonals, if they book at an additional site for a weekend,
Oh.
for friends and family, we give them a
Sorry.
of what it would be, or, you know.
Oh, okay. So if they're friends and families, books, seasonals, friends and families. So if they do your reservation work for you and get the sales for you,
No,
they
like if
get
they
a.
have friends or family come in.
Right.
One of the overnight sites.
Yes.
We'll let them have it at a discount.
Oh, they get a discount. Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Yes.
For every $5 that they spend in the grill or the store, they get a ticket towards the seasonal party to put into the little buckets that we have for free drawings.
Ah, so they do it kind of like a little basket raffle.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a basket raffle, so they earn their tickets for that basket raffle. I love that.
We have an incentive so that for every $10 that they spend in the store, since it's tracked and they have to say it goes through their account, even if they're paying cash right then, at the end of the year, they get a ticket for each $10 spent, not including electric. And then it goes into a drawing for a certain amount off their site for
Awesome.
second or third draw. And they have to be present to win it as well.
How cool. That's great. Any more? We got time for one more on that. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Moving on. Okay. We talked about a lot of these things. How many of you have bars or restaurants? Snack Shack type of things. This works, the free drink cards work pretty well. If you give one, and it's one per site, so hardly anybody comes in with one. They always bring 2 people in. And you have to, we've learned this the hard way. You have to date them. And they have to be for each single week, you know. But if they come on in, they get 1 free drink. And you can do it buy one, get one. But basically, it gets them in your establishment for a period of time. You can do the same thing with ice cream, slushies, anything else like that that you might want to do. The other thing that we've heard about that works really well is what we call VIP sales. So if you're going to have a sale in your store, like an end of the year sale or a 50% off or something like that, there's a certain time when only your seasonals are allowed to come in. So they can get this sale from this time to this time. So it's kind of a timed thing, if you will. And then something free for showing up when you want them to. That's where those tickets really come in handy, because it's amazing to me what they'll do for tickets.
And then the free pizza coupon, I have it, has to be used that current year.
Oh, that's yeah. Because
so you
know.
have that time deadline on it.
Yeah, these little buggers, I tell you what, if you don't have all those little I's dotted and T's crossed, guess what? They figure out a way around it, don't they? So there you go.
Eat in only.
Oh, eat in only too. That's a good one. Okay. So here's what we all have. We all have these what I call yabuts, you know. So and you know what they are, aren't they? They're like little baby excuses that live on your shoulders. And so when you're sitting around going, yeah, but Lori, that won't work in my park. Yeah, but we got this going on. Yeah, but you don't know our seasonals. They're cheap as heck. Yeah, you don't know that. Yeah, but. So we all got the yeah, buts of the world, right? You know? So here's what we're going to do is, first of all of you know what doesn't work in your park, right? So now what we want you to do is try to think of the possibilities. So at your table or in your little group team that you've evolved or made, on that page, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down what are your yeah-buts. Take about 20 seconds to do that, and then you'll share it as a group.
Last time you gave me 30 and it wasn't
I'm
enough
so
time.
sorry.
Now you cut me down
I've cut you
20.
down 20. We're going to have a special class afterwards. On time. Yeah. So just take about 20 seconds, write down all the things you've tried that don't work for your park. You know, when you're trying to engage those seasonals, what have you done that flopped, did not work? And then talk about what things could work. Okay, guys. Let's do a little sharing. We'll kind of go around to each table. And we'll have one spokesperson that'll tell us just a little bit about kind of maybe one of their best ideas when it comes to the yabuts. So kind of do a quick meeting huddle and figure out what that best idea is. Yeah, what doesn't work. We're going to start with what didn't work. Okay, got it? What didn't work for you? Okay, got it? All right. What didn't work for you guys?
At our park, we did, I don't know if it was Laramie that touched on it, somebody touched on it in the back. When seasonals spend like every $10 in the store at the restaurant, they would get a ticket that would be put into a bucket, and at the end we would draw to see who got $100 off, $75 off, or $50 off their site rent next year. The hardest thing for us though was not all of my staff knew who the seasonals were.
Oh.
And my seasonals forgot to tell them. And so if I wasn't there to say, hey, they're a seasonal, don't forget that seasonal incentive where they get, you know, a ticket for every $10 spent, I had somebody come to me and be like, oh, we spent like $200.
And we got nothing.
And we totally forgot to tell them. It was so busy. And so it was hard trying to keep track of that. I think if you give them tickets at an event, it's better.
Because then you give it,
know that they're getting it there, and everybody is consistent. Instead of like drawing it out all season long, it's just our staff has to remember so much. I know I missed a couple of the seasonals too, and they're like, "Do you remember when I came in for that cheese?"
Oh, sure I do.
And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that, by the way. You
Yes,
know?
yeah.
Like, it's just, it was just really difficult to track. I think even with the point of sale system too, I mean, it's good that you can track it. We don't have a point of sale system, so it was kind of a nightmare for us. we went off of, you know, the honesty system,
Yeah,
too,
which
you're
really
like-
works well, right?
Yeah, so I think if you do it at an event and you give them the tickets there, that I think is more beneficial, because then you're not gonna have people saying, well, they got it, I didn't. you
Right.
know.
Right.
Maybe a solution to that is, do you guys do an activity handout each week, or? So put a reminder in that activity thing. If you're coming in and purchasing things, remember to let us know you're a seasonal so we can give you those tickets.
I spend so much time on those and they don't even read them.
Yeah.
And I know it's their fault. I mean,
On the back of your computer.
Oh, a laminated sign, yep. Hand it over, will you?
Or put it on your Facebook page. or-
Yeah, Facebook page will work too, yeah.
Seasonals have we have one just.
Absolutely, I'll take you and then you. Everybody here? Here we go.
I know we do as much as we can without cost, but you can with Vista Craig get a business card with the whole punch. I don't know what y'all think about that, but I think that it's worth it for the whole year, because then they keep up with that. And then that event could change to tickets or whatnot, but I'm still thinking 15 on a,
Now you're
on
putting
a
the ball in
business
their
card.
court.
Yeah, putting the ball in their part. Yep.
I had the exact same idea, but so going back to, if you give them tickets throughout the year, then they're gonna lose them.
Right.
But maybe, you know, the incentive is to say, you know, these tickets are gonna be good for, I don't know, a raffle or something at the end of the season, so you give them that punch card. So at the end of the season, they bring the punch card and each punch gives them a ticket or whatever.
You know, and that's the beauty of this stuff, isn't it, guys? Is you can kind of, if we know what didn't work, you can figure out what hiccups you had and maybe how you can fix them. I know at Pineland, the way they sort of fix that is you have a bucket, don't you? That they put their tickets in.
Well,
Kind of,
yes
no?
and no, there was at the end of the year, Sue would collect them and then we put them in the
Oh,
car.
okay.
But now I'm actually building
Yes.
a big case with a glass, plexiglass front.
Yeah.
So when they come into the office, they're putting their own tickets in. So
Yes.
they don't have anybody say,
Yes.
I don't think you put our tickets in one. You know?
Right, right.
Then I'll just have a-
Yes. So we actually have that, and we found one. If you guys watch, you know those big raffle buckets, it's amazing how cheap they can go if you watch for them a little bit. I had Rick find me one, and the sucker stands about this big, and it's somebody made it, and it has like a big wood thing on it so that you can like mix them up, but it's like a big garbage can. It's that big. And it's got like holes in it so that you can see the tickets or whatever. So they watch it grow, you know. And a lot of them will like fill them out at their campers or whatever, and then come in and put 20,000 in there, you know. And then the next one comes in and puts a big thing up there. One of the things that I had to teach my team members to work on a little bit was, you know, it's not cash, guys. If they said, "Oh, you missed that," give them the ticket. Give them the pickle, move on. It'll be fine, you know. It's not a huge deal. Yeah. Not worth the hassle with some of them. Okay. What other things are some of those things that just didn't quite work out for you, and then maybe we can come up with some solutions for them? Who else had one that just, but they didn't work out?
Well, we gave incentive for, if some of the seasonals would bring someone else in and sign up for seasonals, but all the seasonals had the same attitude. We want to be the only ones in this park. We don't want anybody knowing.
Right. Yeah. So that didn't work. Yeah, that sometimes can happen. You bet. Absolutely. Yeah.
We have incentives for them at the end of the year when they help out with our haunted corn maze or haunted house.
Yeah.
Haunted woods, then we give them discounts for the next year.
Give them discounts for the next year for doing
Yeah,
that.
when they help out with those activities.
Awesome. Great. Yeah.
We have, things he said didn't work out well.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have issues with getting their seasonals off their golf carts at, curfew?
Yes.
And so now we give out fines, but we do donate them to the Boys and Girls Club locally.
Ah.
So it's not used as a revenue source, it's a donation. But
That's
you're
a
gonna
cool-
get busted.
You're going to get busted. That's a cool way, and you're giving up that. Yeah. Nice way to say it. Yes. Can you guys hear that one more time?
I was going to say, just to get all that information, it's kind of difficult to get out to everyone.
Yes.
So we did bulletin boards. I thought, okay, you're walking your dog. Do they know? Do they know?
Bulletin boards did not work that well. All right.
I put right in the restroom. I have to pass it and all. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
You know, I think Pride of America hit it on the head. I overheard one of the conversations there. It is important for you to use, I think, so many different medias. I feel like you've got to have it plastered in the bathroom. I think you've got to have the apps. I think you have to have the handwritten, old school, you know, pick it up and look at it kind of thing. It seems like the more options that you have for people to look at, kind of the better off that you are. Anything else on the yeah, but that did not work for me? How about what do you think could work from what you picked up? Jason has a great one. Up to Jason we run. Jason, what could work in your part?
So we found for sure what you talked about, that you need to have every which way out there to get to the people, because with all the different ways out there, people really have a lot less focus and pay a lot less attention. So we found that you got to shorten your messages too, because they're not going to read as much, and let them come to you. But one of the best things that we had done a few years back is start with one of the apps where you program all your activities into, and then they'll get a notification 15 minutes prior on their cell phone. It'll pop up and say, at 15 minutes from now is bingo, or 15 minutes from now is a movie. And that's been probably the most effective thing we've done, because I know for sure last year we had a winery not show up for a wine event, and so we had canceled that, and there was actually a crowd of people down there that we then said, well, we're gonna do bingo. So we put on the app saying, listen, we're gonna do bingo in 15 minutes from now. The entertainment for tonight didn't show up, and we had like 100 more people show up. So the people are on their phones. I mean, people don't tend to let them down.
Yeah.
But yes, for
Is
sure.
it Campers app?
It is. Campers app is the one that we
Yes,
use.
you can say that because they are here. So it's Campers app.
And there are other ones. But
Yes,
they're
there
great
are.
to work with. They're
Yeah,
great people.
Campers app are actually here. You can actually go on to Campers app and find out what's going on here.
And I can attest to people reading that, because I accidentally had a different time for an event on the website versus Campers app, because I had to change it because I had something going on.
Yeah.
And I had people sending me messages like crazy saying on Campers app I had the wrong time.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
So
then you
they,
didn't know which time it was, so.
Yeah.
The deal with that is getting everybody to sign up for Campers app.
Right.
It's free, you tell them it's free, it doesn't cost you anything, you know, all they have to do is sign into yours. And that's where I find the challenge in my part.
So what
Getting
we've
everybody-
done, we had that the first year, and I think we've been on board since they came out, so it's probably 4 or 5 years, I'm thinking. But so what we had stopped doing is that when we first did it, I said, well, we're no longer gonna do a newsletter, we're no longer gonna do the constant contact thing, we're just gonna do this. So the first year, there was a struggle, because we used to email them these good things, and I said, this is what we're doing, we're gonna put all that information out here in the app, we're doing it as news, so if you wanna get the info, you either have to call us to check, or this is where it's gonna go. So I will tell you that, like, I think it's like 85 or 86% of our seasonals use it.
yeah.
So, but that was how to force them in.
Well, I'm a playing at Campers app, so third season using it too, and I've enjoyed it, but I usually kind of not really threaten people when they come in. But I'm like, put it on, sign up for Campers app. And I'm like, okay, they don't think it's that important, but I'm like, so when your kid goes missing, or your dog goes missing, it's gonna go to everybody. And they're like, okay.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, there you go. You make it important to them. Absolutely. Anything else? Yes. I gave her one. Yes. I'm on it.
I had the same bulletin board problem.
Yes.
So we are now going to start some scavenger hunts with notifications on those bulletin boards to get them to come in and do things.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Awesome. Yes.
So it's not really a bulletin board, but I do every month. I start with all the activities in a really pretty format on a 8.5 by 11 sheet and put them in all the bathrooms, just one in each bathroom. And the seasonal, there's always one that gets taken down. Somebody is taking that, and so they do.
They do look at it. They steal it. It's important stuff. It's valuable. It's worth it. Yes. So I think the big thing here, the big question here really, guys, is what motivates people, right? And here's the answer. Are you ready? I'm going to give you the answer to life. This is what motivates every person. There is nothing that motivates every single person. Yes, it's me. Yeah, I'll come. Yeah. Here is the key, though. Every single person has a different personality, and they're motivated by different things. So if you have a thinker personality style who is very analytical, and you say something to them like, oh, great job, good job on that. They're like, in their little bubble, you know that bubble that we have in our mind that we don't let anybody read? It says, you are blowing smoke up my behind. You don't even know what I did. So a thinker wants to know specifically what it is that they did to get rewarded for. You know, they want to be specific. So if it was like, I saw you pick up that piece of litter and put it in the garbage can, and here's your reward for that, I really appreciate that. Okay, then they're good with it. Now, a feeler is different. All you got to do is go, oh, such a good job, and we're happy. That's it. That's all we need. You just need that good job hug and move on. We don't really care if you know what it is that we did. We assume that you figured it out and it was great. So kind of knowing people and figuring out what their personality is and what trips their trigger. Because I will tell you, if you look at somebody and you say, I have a seasonal that absolutely cannot be motivated, it's bull. They can be. You just don't know what it is that motivates them. So make it a bit of a game and say, let me see if I can figure out what it is that's going to trip their trigger. One of the things that I've found is people support what they create. So if they create something, they definitely will support it. And it's amazing to me at how people get excited about doing something, and then it spreads and it spreads and it spreads. Look at last night. Riverbed came up with the coolest little thing. Those of you how many of you actually spent a little time in the Little Bar last night? Okay. They came up with the coolest thing. It was a takeoff of the little dollar auction that we've been showing y'all, and they used it as like a 50-50 kind of thing. And I think that's the thing. It's like coming up with one little idea, then how can we tweak it a little bit? How can we get people behind the idea to have some fun with it? And you know, when you come up with the idea and they support it if they come up with it, right? So that's a big piece of that. I think part of it is nobody likes to volunteer on a bad board, right? How many of you have ever been on one of those? You know, you're on one of those and they're like, nobody has any fun. There's nothing great about it. It's just you have to show up and you get to do work. You know, that is no fun. So you have to add a fun factor. You've got to make it fun to be with. Now, if you are, and how many of you do activities that stress you out? Okay, how many of you tell your face that you're stressed out? And then everybody else can see it, right? Yeah. So that's the part that nobody really likes to work with somebody that's stressed out either. All of a sudden, what happens?
You get stressed.
Yes. Stress is contagious, isn't it? You know, and before you know it, what do you have? You have a bunch of stressed out people who came here to relax. What is that about, right? You know? So I think the key thing is you've got to make sure that it's inspirational, that they're having fun, that you express your thanks and your gratitude to those folks that are helping you out. Because let's face it, there's no way you could put on some of these things, the fundraisers, there's no way you could put on some of the activities without a little help from your friends, right? Just couldn't happen. If you had to pay people to do some of those things, it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't make it work, you know? So we've got to figure out a way that people have fun with the whole thing. One of the things, and Dorsey will talk about this more at lunch, because I tell you, he is really my Yoda these days in this whole stress relief thing and how important it is to you. We are in a business where you are, I mean, it's fast and furious for quite a few months. I don't think any of us really recognizes what a toll that can have on your body and your well-being if you're not having some fun with it. If it's all work and no play, it's a lot of stress, right? So you got to figure out, how can I make it a little bit fun? One of the things that I am vowing to do, so you can come and check and see if I actually do this. One of the things that I am vowing to do this year is a 2-minute act of kindness. So I'm going to make sure that at least 2 minutes of my day, I take a time out to take a look at a seasonal, because I'll be honest with you, I have to whisper in the ears of people that work for me, does she live here?
Oh.
And they're like, yeah, she does. Okay, good. All righty then. You know, I'm sure you guys are way more intimate with your people than I am, but for me, that's one of the things. And people will say, you know, well, she's never here. I'm, sure she doesn't own this joint, But part of it is, when you are there, what are you doing? You're working, you're focused. So for 2 minutes, I'm just going to do 2 minutes, two minutes a day. And just say hello to somebody, do something nice for them, do something nice for their kids, something. I think one of the things that you should do is talk to other people about great things that their seasonals do. Because when we're at these little conventions, what do? We talk about our nasty ass seasonals, right? The ones that are really bad. Instead of what? The good ones. And we do have a lot of great ones. We have some that are absolutely amazing. Some that have helped us build our business. Some that have been fun and good to work with and show up every time you need them, right? That's what this is all about. Smile reminders. We had a class this morning that I think was super important. How many of you practice your selfies? When you take a selfie? How many of you even take a selfie to start with? Okay, when you take a selfie, I can tell you this. When you see selfies on Facebook and on the social media, doesn't everybody look pretty? You ever see a dog on, somebody that's a bad picture of you? Well, not if you took it yourself, it isn't. Right? Because you can fix it. They have filters. They have apps. You can be anybody you want to be. Right? It's pretty easy, But here's the deal. We don't have that opportunity when it comes to our customers and with our seasonals. So all they get to see is the face that you wear. And guess what? Have any of you ever been told, oh, you look so tired? That is like that is like my worst thing, when somebody says, oh my God, you look so tired. I'm like, okay, shape it up, Because what does tired equal? Crabby. Tired equals crabby. And you know what? When people review you on your social media, guess what tired equals? Crabby, mad, insensitive. You were all of those things. You didn't speak. You never said anything. They just looked at your face and they determined, wow, she's in a bad mood. Let's walk back. Right? So it's really all about what are those smile factors? What are those little reminders? I have a little granddaughter, and I'm trying to learn how to do the snappy chatty thing, I'm pretty sure that's a term. Anyway, she sends me one of those little snappy chats every morning, and she'll tell me a little thing. And when the little kids send you a message, it's always just so inspirational. But every morning she'll send me a thing. Graham, you got this? I sure needed it this morning. I was so glad she got up early. So, Graham, you got this? Yep, I got it. Yeah. The only thing is when we had our roof that fell down in the office, some of you heard about that. I didn't really go back and look. I thought, nah, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to go there, So my daughter and her went back there and took a look at it. She came back and she said, Graham, Grandpa better got this. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. So you got to figure out, how do you turn on that positive filter? Because you know what? People want to be around energetic, positive people. If you say, oh, I got this big activity coming up, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be so much work. We are going to have to spend hours to make this work. We're going to have to sweat. It's not going to be fun. We will not give you any alcohol to get through this. No water. It's going to be bad. None of us would ever say that, right? But sometimes our actions and behaviors might say it for us. So we got to figure out a way, how do we turn on that positive filter, if you will?
Lori?
Yeah.
For winter this year?
Yes.
That was me shoveling snow.
Yeah. Yes.
To find my cabin.
You know what though? How many of us have honestly been there? You've been in that spot. So you got to figure out what is your turnaround moment? How can you get yourself out of that, if you will?
So when we first started, we're going into our 6th season now. When we first started, we made it a point to get around to our seasonals and visit with them. 5-10 minutes at their campfire. We had people that were like, wow, the previous owners never walked up here. Like, well, we're trying to get around, get to know everybody and who's out here and stuff. I now have seasonals that come to me and go, you haven't been at my campfire for a while. I'm like,
I didn't get my turn.
There's 71 sites here, guys.
Yeah.
And one of me.
Yes, yeah. But it's amazing the little things that people really remember and expect, if you will.
Even when they come back, a lot of mine almost expect me to come back and give them a hug and welcome back.
Yeah, where's my hug? Yeah.
Because I haven't seen you all winter.
Yeah.
We say welcome home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So we need
Welcome
to
home, yeah.
always get out there.
Yeah.
This is like home.
Yeah. Who, we have another? Yeah?
I make it a point to, if somebody asks.
Can you guys hear? Here we go. Can everybody hear? Here we go.
I just make it a point to, if somebody asks me how it's going, and I always say it's going good.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't care what's going bad, I always tell them it's going good.
I always
Yes.
say great. They love it when you say great.
Great. I say peachy if it's bad. How's it going, peachy? That's my code for health. But you know what though, you guys, that contagious stuff just goes so crazy, doesn't it? I think that's why these things are so much fun for us. Because you get somebody with a good idea and you get excited about that good idea and you're around people that care about their business. You're around people that care about making things happen and growing things. And that makes it great. If you're not careful, what happens with our attitude, and I think you've all had that, you have one of those days where you start with one little thing goes wrong, then another thing goes wrong, and another thing goes wrong, and another thing goes wrong, and you're like, what else could happen? And then you're like, I just said that with my outside voice. Oh my gosh, And you have one, and pretty soon it's like a downward spiral, isn't it? So one of the things that I always try to remember is these 3 words. It's old school computer stuff. Control, Alt, Delete. If you can't control it, if you can't alter it in some way, delete it. You might have messed up at one thing, it's over. You cannot go backwards. No matter how hard we try, we haven't got that time machine down yet. So we can't go backwards. All you can do is go forward. And I think it's fun. If you look at it more of a fun thing, one of the things that I do in my downtime now is I listen to Burn Notice while I go to sleep. If you ever watch that Netflix little thing, that little Michael, he's out there fixing stuff. And no matter what breaks, he is amazing. Anything that's wrong, he finds a solution. What are we going to do now? What's the plan? His team are always like, what's the plan? Blow it up is usually the plan, but what's the plan? And I think that's a great way of sort of looking at your day. When stuff goes wrong, you got to be the plan guy. You got to be the big spy guy that can fix it, right? You've got to be the one that has those connections in your head that can fix it, because you're the one they're looking to get it fixed and get it done, if you will, okay? Last thing we're going to end with is fundraisers. How many of you have had just phenomenal success with getting people to join in and involve in fundraisers? Quite a few, yeah, absolutely. What do you think is the big thing that motivates them to get involved with your fundraisers?
Uniqueness.
It's unique, something different.
We had Volkswagen buses, the old Volkswagen buses, and they're a group called Buses by the Beach.
A bus by the beach, okay?
And so they come in and like 60 of them will come to our campground, and we do a fundraiser and we donate back a percentage of what they gave us for sites.
Ah!
And we would donate it back to their Phoenix Society, which is for burn victims.
Ah, so it's something, yeah.
And then they also do a barbecue cook-off. So everybody in the campground now wants to come to see those.
Guys do it.
Barbecue yeah.
Yeah. What else? Yeah.
Getting them behind something they believe in. So we did a big fundraiser for our local fire department for the campground, and We told them it's a twofold thing. First of all, we're gonna support that fire department, and they're gonna know where your site is, should we have an emergency here.
Awesome. How great is
Fire
that?
department loved it too.
Yeah. What else have you found really motivates people when it comes to that?
Just making it fun for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Making it somehow fun for them so they can get involved. They have a little joy in actually doing it. What other things can we do that gets people involved with the fundraising piece of it?
Ours just like to feel appreciated.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, these guys, tell them about kind of some of the things that you guys do, because they've raised money. Honestly, that is one of the reasons we got Janet at Great River Harbor to join. We had player appearances, and she was like, oh, I'll do that. Waco, not so much, but I'll do that. So how do I have to, what do I have to do that? And it's amazing. So would you mind telling them a couple things you guys do?
Sure. You had touched on it a little bit at lunch yesterday. So we're the houseboat. So we do the houseboat tours on the river for the Gilbert Brown Foundation and take them out. So that's one of the big ones. We also run a golf event every year for that. And our seasonals love it. They really feel to be a part of it. They go out and help us get whole sponsors. We do, the golf event has a potluck dinner, and then we provide our lunch, and then we do a dinner as well. And the seasonals pretty much provide everything for the potluck.
Wow.
I mean, people that you hardly see all summer, they must like to cook because they come on up and you're like, oh yeah, you know, trying to think, who are you?
Yeah. I've never seen you, but your dish looks great.
Yeah, but then that's the other thing is people are like, oh, this dish is so good, and then they kind of feel good because people are liking what they have.
Yeah.
We started doing the meat raffles a lot. They're really getting into that. And the other thing we did, and we should probably do it again. Remember when we did the cake auction?
Oh my gosh, yes.
We had so much stuff brought in. We auctioned it off at our place. We did $20 plates to get rid of it. You took some back.
We took some back, auctioned it off at our place.
I mean, they brought so much stuff in. It was hard. I mean, it was unbelievable how much they brought in and how they wanted to be involved in it.
Yeah. I think though that's the key is also finding what's really unique. You know, she's got houseboats. What do you have that's unique or different that you can use as part of that? I know that Pineland's done the ATV trail kind of things, and that does a couple of things. It gets other businesses involved, obviously, with them, and it also is something really kind of cool. You get to go out, you know, on a ATV ride, you know, so it's something different.
I just thought, I don't know if this goes, we've never done fundraisers. I mean, this is only our second year.
Yeah.
So going back to that ATV thing, maybe doing a trail ride and then doing like, instead of a car wash, having an ATV wash.
Oh, how fun would that be? Absolutely, you bet. You know, I think that's the key though, guys, is starting out just a little bit. Janet in the past has raised incredible amounts of money, and she does it like literally $1 at a time. I am not kidding you. I mean, she started out selling pudding shots for $1. Now she's up to $2. $2.
A lot of money selling pudding shots.
Yes, yeah. And that's the one thing they do just every single week, and that money goes in the bucket, and there you go, you know, kind of thing. So it's about doing something every single week and about getting them involved. They want to become part of a team. I think they like that feel-good thing.
They ask all the time, when's this event going to be? And when are, you know, is it still going to be this weekend? And what can we bring? And how can we help? And so they do like it. And because we've done it so many years, you know, they look forward to it. It's an annual thing that happens. And
you know, and it's really late in the season. It's like October. So at that point, it's like a cool way of making another camping week out of a camping week that wouldn't really necessarily be a strong one, but all of a sudden people are like, oh my gosh, yeah, we got to do this. And I think they take super pride when they have a celebrity or somebody visiting and they can say, here's our check. You know, look at, this is what we did. And we were part of this. And they love explaining how they did a certain thing, you know, of the fundraiser, that kind of piece.
One question.
Yeah.
Is there a certain day of the week that you prefer to do something like this, like a long day fundraiser? Is there a certain day, like
That's an interesting question because Saturdays usually work the best. However, in this particular case, it's a weekend of it. So Friday night is the boat. The boat. Yep, and they're at the Harbor the Bar. And then the Saturday is the tavern tour. So they actually go on a pub crawl. And so people love that. And then Sunday is usually watch the game somewhere. Yeah. So it's kind of a weekend thing. So it's amazing though. Fundraisers, I think, are great. I believe if you do them on a weekend that works for you. Pineland is probably one of the experts on that area. The first fundraiser that they do is the first weekend in May, right? It's the first weekend in May. And that traditionally hasn't been a big filled up weekend, but it is when you have a dart tournament. They do a big dart tournament with the players and that kind of thing. So it's, taking some of those shoulder season times and then saying, hey, maybe that's a good time for a fundraiser. I could fill in some time in that area, or get some more people involved in that area.
The other thing with the fundraising part is if there's other businesses in your area that you can kind of partner with.
Yeah.
Work with, like the golf event for us, we're bringing business into their, helping them a little bit when they're having an off time or things like that. So it's partnering with other people around you that might have activities too, and then it builds your force.
Yeah, absolutely does. And I say this all the time, and I mean it in the best possible way. So if you're recording this might be a part where you have to snip it just a little bit. But the pimping out of the players is absolutely amazing when it comes to the small businesses and that kind of thing, because they don't get that opportunity. We get a little bit spoiled sometimes because they're almost like our old friends. They're there so much, them all the time, you see them all the time, they're like part of the family kind of thing. Not necessarily that case with your neighbors or your other businesses, that kind of thing. So for them, that could be a big boom, or a big boom to their business, if you will. So sharing definitely makes it work. Yeah.
To say something that went over amazingly well at our park. One of our seasonal families, the husband got diagnosed with cancer and wasn't really getting along, and so they have 6 children, and they had been with us for quite a few years. So in 2 weeks, we put together a benefit for them at the park, and it was just amazing how much money was raised. And
yes.
The good thing about in the campground is you have so many people camping with you that own their own businesses, so they
yes,
donated so much stuff, and we got stuff from local businesses, and the camaraderie that they build from doing that benefit just makes the seasonal family stronger.
I think that is a big part of it, and I think especially when something happens to one of your own, and that's why it is, we have a neat opportunity with that 501c3 so that you can keep, because I know there's concerns sometimes about, gosh, when we do that, then what is our liability and that kind of stuff. You can run that stuff through, and especially if the mission fits, you can just run it right through the foundation if you want to. So sometimes I can't imagine it's going to be a problem, but one of these days, the government's going to say, oh, really? You should have paid tax on that. Yeah. Anybody else? Might have just had a hair flip there. Sorry. Any other thoughts or ideas? How about stuff that didn't work for you as a fundraiser? Anything that didn't work? Well, there you go. All right. You guys have done an absolutely amazing job. I am so proud of you. This morning, you know my routine. Stretch, raise your hands all the way up, reach around and pet yourselves on the back. Pet your neighbors on the back because we got to know them. We sucked some good information out of them. Please give a round of applause to Nikki, who brilliantly stood in, and my pal Jason here, who helped us out.